All right, let's jump right in. Think about the assembly lines of our digital world. I'm talking about our data pipelines. The way we manage them is going through this absolutely radical transformation, and it's all about getting a whole lot smarter. Yeah, I know, it sounds a little sci-fi, right? But that question is really at the core of everything we're talking about. We are literally shifting from systems that just react to stuff that already happened to systems that can actually anticipate what's about to happen. I mean, for the longest time, the engine behind our most critical data flows has been, well, shockingly simple. It's basically just a bunch of alarm clocks telling scripts when it's time to wake up and run. And look, that was a decent start, but as we're about to see, that whole model is completely fundamentally broken for today's world. So let's dig into that. Let's talk about why that old school alarm clock method isn't just outdated, it's actually more like a ticking time bomb sitting inside any serious data operation. And that alarm clock, well, it actually has a name. It's called cron. If you've ever worked with a Unix-like system, you know this guy. It's been the go-to tool for automating tasks for forever. It's simple, it's everywhere, and for a really long time, it was good enough. But here's the kicker. Its greatest strength, that simplicity, is also its biggest weakness. And let me spell out exactly what that weakness looks like. First off, cron jobs are totally clueless about each other. They have zero awareness of what other jobs are doing, and that can lead to some really nasty data corruption. They can also fail completely silently. Like a job could be broken for days and you'd have no idea. Then there's the classic midnight rush. Everyone schedules their jobs for midnight, creating this thundering herd that just hammers the systems. And maybe worst of all, they're just rigid. They can't react to things happening in the real world. And this really gets to the heart of the problem, right? You've got cron's logic, which is just a bunch of lonely, isolated scripts that only care about what time it is. And then you have what modern data actually needs, a whole system of interconnected workflows that understand context, that know about each other, and that can respond to events. It's just a fundamental mismatch. So, naturally, with the cron model basically falling apart, something had to change. This collapse forced an evolution. And that's what led to what we call the modern orchestrator. It was all about bringing some of that software engineering discipline into the wild, chaotic world of data pipelines. And the key innovation here, the real game changer, was this thing called a directed acyclic graph, or just a DAG. You've probably heard of it, especially with tools like Apache Airflow that made it famous. A DAG is basically just a blueprint for your workflow. It explicitly says, hey, step B, you absolutely cannot run until step A is done. And just like that, it single-handedly solves cron's biggest, most glaring problem, dependency. But the evolution didn't stop there. The thinking kept getting more sophisticated. We went from caring about single scripts to caring about the entire workflow, the whole DAG. But the real leap forward, and tools like Dagster really pushed this idea, was to stop focusing on the pipes and start focusing on what comes out of them, the data asset itself, the report, the ML model, whatever. The critical question changed from, hey, did my task run, to, is my report actually healthy and up to date? That's a huge shift. Okay, so that brings us right up to the present day, and to the next giant leap. We've solved dependencies, we've figured out workflows. The new frontier is all about making these systems truly intelligent. It's about moving from just reacting to things to proactively anticipating them using AI. And this slide just lays it out so perfectly. Look, reactive systems are fine, right? A new file shows up, the system kicks off a job. Great. But proactive systems, they are a whole different ballgame. A proactive system looks at the past and says, you know what? For the last 52 Tuesdays, we've gotten a massive data dump at this exact time. I predict it's going to happen again. Let's spin up the extra resources right now before we even need them. See the difference? Game changer. This table is just a perfect summary of the whole journey we've been on. Look at scheduling. It goes from rigid, run at 2 a.m., to flexible code, and now to predictive, goal-driven schedules. And resources, from static and fixed to dynamic and proactive. But my favorite is the last one, faults. We go from a human having to manually retry a failed job, to automated retries, and finally, to truly self-healing systems. So you might be wondering, how does this AI brain actually work? It's not some magical giant black box. The smartest way to build this is with something called a multi-agent system. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like a perfectly coordinated, super efficient digital data team. So let's meet the team.
First up, you've got the forecaster agent. This is the team's psychic, right? The one with the crystal ball. Its whole job is to look at all the past data and predict what's coming down the pipe. How long our job's going to take, how much data are we going to get, what kind of computing power are we going to need. Okay, next on the team is the scheduler agent. This is your project manager. It takes all those predictions from the psychic forecaster and turns them into an actual game plan. Its number one priority is making sure the most important business deadlines, the SLAs, are always met. It's the strategist. Then there's the resource allocator agent. Think of this one as your platform engineer. This agent takes the PM's plan and actually gets its hands dirty. It's the one talking directly to AWS or Google Cloud or whatever, and spinning up the exact right amount of infrastructure just in time. And then, just as importantly, tearing it all down the second it's not needed anymore. Super efficient. Of course, you need someone keeping an eye on the whole operation. That's the monitor agent. This is your SRE, your reliability engineer. It's constantly watching in real time and asking one simple question. Is what's actually happening matching what we predicted would happen? If anything looks off with the data, with the pipelines, it raises the alarm. And last but not least, when that monitor agent does spot a problem, the recovery agent leaps into action. This is your on-call engineer, except this one never gets tired and never sleeps. It immediately kicks off automated, self-healing procedures to try and fix the problem, a lot of the time without a human ever even knowing something went wrong. Okay, so this all sounds amazing, right? A perfect digital team. But this powerful new world of autonomous systems isn't a utopia. It's got its own ghosts in the machine. With all these new capabilities come entirely new and, frankly, much more subtle and spooky kinds of problems. I mean, think about it. What happens when the psychic gets the forecast totally wrong? What happens when all these individual agents, each one following its programming perfectly, start interacting in weird ways and working against each other in a way that nobody could have predicted?
This is where we get these new kinds of systemic risks. First, there's prediction-induced failure. This one's wild. The system fails because it flawlessly executed a perfect plan that was based on a totally wrong forecast. Then you have model drift. The analogy here is perfect. It's like trying to navigate a city that's constantly being rebuilt, but you're using a map from 5 years ago. And the trickiest one is emergent misbehavior. This is where that digital team of agents, through all their complex interactions, creates some kind of harmful system-wide pattern that no single agent was ever designed to do.
So, okay, given these very real challenges, what's the path forward? How do we embrace this future safely? Well, it requires a major strategic shift, not just in technology, but in the role of the data professional themselves. It's about evolving from being a hands-on mechanic to being a high-level architect. So how do you actually get there without blowing things up? The key is to take it in phases. You don't just flip a switch. Step 1. You absolutely have to modernize your foundation. Get off of cron and onto a modern DAG-based platform. Step 2. Bring in the AI, but only in advisory mode. Let it give you forecasts and alerts, but don't let it take action. This is how you build trust in the system. Step 3. Once you're comfortable, let it start automating resource allocation, but only for your low-risk pipelines. And then, only at the very end, do you grant the system full autonomy to manage everything based on your business goals. And this quote just nails the end game perfectly. The job of the data engineer is going to transform. You're not going to be a mechanic anymore, spending your days manually fixing broken pipes or tuning queries. Instead, you'll be an architect and a governor. You'll be the one designing and overseeing this intelligent, autonomous data ecosystem, setting its goals, defining its rules. It's a really fascinating future to think about, isn't it?